Well, I want to check in with you because earlier on we were talking about Walking Dead. We're going to make you watch Walking Dead. You committed to watching at least the first season of it. Have you seen any of them?
I haven't seen any of it yet.
What's preventing you from doing that?
Julie's like, yeah, we're not watching that.
No. Well, okay. You've said that there are times you're up late, or you're up early with your young son, and
you're right. I'm not going to put that on her.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet. To be continued.
Okay, check it out. Maybe this weekend.
I'm making just all of this unusable.
Just one.
You had a great setup. If I had watched it, we had like a good follow up.
Yeah.
But no.
Okay. Well, buzzkill.
Here's a follow up for you. I know you're not going to do any of the app locker kind of stuff, but what's the state of unplugging in your life?
Pretty good. There was a night earlier this week where I was at home with just my daughter, and my wife took my son to basketball practice and was gone for a little bit, and it was just my daughter and I, and she said, "Daddy, I want to play." We played Muppet Babies. She's got Muppet Babies are back.
Really?
Yeah. On the Disney Channel, they've revamped it. It's more of like a 3D version of the classic from the mid '80s.
Was it Disney in the mid '80s, or did Disney acquire?
They acquired it. Was just
Jim Henson's products.
Yeah, they acquired Jim Henson Productions. I think late '90s or so. Well after Jim Henson had passed. So she's got these little Muppet Babies figures. Said, I want to play. I made a conscious effort to take my phone and set it up on a counter out of arm's reach and just focused on playing with her for probably about 90 minutes straight. Didn't look at my phone once. And I remember thinking, I'm doing this intentionally and I'm quote unquote unplugging. And I was like, I wish that I had my phone on to record me as evidence so that I could then show you and say, look it, man, I'm unplugging. That's the problem, is there's no evidence.
Yeah, especially for you, I know that's got to be tough because you're a person that really appreciates capturing stuff.
Yeah.
For me, it's less because I've never really had a huge itch to capture everything. I do like taking pictures and getting videos when I think of it, but I'm not too hard on myself when I miss opportunities.
Yeah.
I would think for you it would be kind of tough because you're really good at being in the moment, but also realizing that you'd like to look back on this at some point.
Yeah, I think the sacrifice is that you're a little less engaged in the moment, but the rest of your life is greater than that one moment. And I'll give you an example from just this afternoon. I'm cleaning out my area, my desk, and I found a disc that had some old files on it. I was just going through, can I throw this away? And I found my sister-in-law's, she was a studio art major, and she had done this like huge presentation for her, for her senior project. And I went through with my camera at the time, which was doing, which could do movies. This is one of the first like point and shoot cameras that could do videos. Mm-hmm. And I went through the whole thing, from start to finish as I was walking through, and, captured the experience of walking through that exhibit as she had set it up for her senior project. And it's super low quality, but it's an actual perspective of that day. And I just sent it to her through Facebook Messenger, and she was like in tears, like the tears emoji, saying like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you have this. This is so great." So that's proof positive and positive reinforcement that there is value for these kinds of things. And I get a little social capital out of it, Hey,
do you think she actually cried?
Probably.
Yeah. 4 times?
4 yeah. One for each emoji.
Speaking of low quality video, Julie showed me this video last night of, I think the title is called The World's Largest Blackhead.
Oh.
And it was like a bullet embedded in this dude's or woman's, I couldn't tell because it was so close, shoulder. And they have no concept of what autofocus is. or focus probably in general.
Okay.
So it was like going
I'm
in
gonna
and
throw
out
up.
of being
Okay.
really super
Stop.
focused.
I'm not going to be able to continue if you continue.
It was the size of this circle
Okay.
right there.
Fine. Great. Let's get on with it. Welcome to Make Me Like This. I'm Brandon. I'm here with Jeff. Today, I'm going to make Jeff like something that he is probably aware of, but probably has no experience with, and that is the game Fortnite.
Oh, man.
Jeff, you're aware of Fortnite, right? You have a basic concept of it, right?
I've been in Fortnite for one
game.
solo game.
Probably when you first got your Xbox, you downloaded it because everyone was talking about it. You went in there and was like, this is dumb.
I sat on a hill for about 20 minutes, and then I was seeing that there was other people in the game, and I was hearing noises in the background, and I got scared that I was going to get killed by a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the life of a Fortnite player, right?
Of an elder Fortnite player. Probably true. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, you probably have heard of Fortnite, but just to give you a little context, it's a video game that's free to play. It's on every platform: Xbox, PlayStation, computer, mobile device, and Nintendo Switch. You download it for free. You play it for free. You start off the game on a bus that's floating through the air over an island. One by one, you drop from the bus down to the island with nothing but a pickaxe. You use the pickaxe to cut down trees and, chop brick and stuff, and it gives you materials that you can then build things with. Along the way, there's treasure chests, there's random weapons that you can pick up. It's kind of like the Hunger Games. You grab weapons, and the last person standing wins. So you can do a solo where it's 100 people versus 100 people, or 100 people all for themselves, and last person standing wins. You can do duos where you have teams of 2. You can have squads, which is teams of 4. And then they have like these different games that they throw in the mix that is like 50 versus 50, or different challenges where you have to do different things. There's a lot of different options. But for the most part, what people play is the dropping on the island, last man standing, and I think the squads is probably the most popular. If you lose all your health, you fall down and you're crawling until one of your teammates revives you. If they don't revive you in time, then you're just dead. So this game is incredibly popular with school-aged kids, my son included.
Still?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, season 7 just started yesterday, and as soon as I got home from work, he was like,
There's seasons with these
They
things?
do seasons, right? So you buy this, you buy a battle pass, and what the battle pass does is, and this is real money that you have to pay
For a free game.
For a free game. This is where they make their money.
In-app purchases.
Yes. So you buy the battle pass, and then that gives you challenges throughout the season. The season is, I think, something like 3 or 4 months, maybe. And throughout that season, if you complete certain challenges, you get different rewards. Rewards can be skins for your character, different
like
pickaxe.
Melatonin?
In some cases, yeah. You can be blue, you can be
it's
green.
Like Silence of the Lambs skins.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Is there a Buffalo Bill skin?
There, believe it or not, there's something that sort of looks like him.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's pretty morbid. They rip off a lot of things. So, yes, the way that they make money is in the customization that you can do. These little skins don't give any competitive advantage, but it allows you to customize your character and just be different. And this is something that my son, and I'm extrapolating that over a lot of kids, because Fortnite makes $300 million a month just from the purchase of these skins, these battle passes, and different.
So if I like it, can I get in on that?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
You got stock in this? Is it
I
a publicly
don't.
traded company?
It's not.
No?
I'm sure.
Is it affiliated with one of the bigger video game companies, or is it just an independent venture that some developer made?
From my understanding, so I think they've come out with other games in the past, none as successful as this one.
What's the company?
Epic Games, and I believe they're independent of any of the major studios.
The only thing I know is EA.
Yeah,
That's the only studio I know.
They're not EA. They're not EA.
They're different.
They're different, yeah. And in fact, they so there's a website called Steam, and Steam is basically the Netflix of video games. You have a subscription to Steam, and different games you can play for free as part of your subscription, or you can pay to play different games for much cheaper than you would, say, at the store if you were to buy it unto itself. Just this week, Epic released their version of it to compete with that. So they've got the server hardware, they've got the platform for it. So they're allowing other developers now to jump on their store to cash in on the popularity of their product to push other games. And they claim to give a greater cut of the profits to the creators. I don't know how valid those claims are, but that's what they claim.
Well, you told me, so I'll believe it.
I read it on Yahoo's front page, which is where I get all my news.
That's a good place to get all your news. That and some really deep subreddits.
Yes, for sure. So the thing about Fortnite that I think gets people to come back is there's sort of a spirit of camaraderie. Not only with the teams that you're placed in, and you're helping each other. So you, if your buddy gets a rocket launcher, but he doesn't have any rockets, and you've got a bunch of rockets, then you like trade back and forth, and you give him some rockets, and he'll give you some meds so that you can build up your health. And you win it together. If one of you gets knocked down, it makes it really hard for you to win that game. So you're trying to protect your guys. So there's that, but there's also like real life camaraderie where the kids play with a headset. So my son,
do you play with a headset? Or no?
The times I've played with colleagues, yes, I played with a headset. But so my son has a good buddy who goes to a different school in a different school district. They don't ever see each other. But through Fortnite, every night they're on, they're spending an hour together shooting people, but it's, they're talking, and then they talk about how their day went and how soccer practice went. And this is the way that they're communicating with each other. When I was growing up, if I didn't see someone regularly, I probably wasn't friends with them. So this gives them an ability. And, my son's 12. He doesn't have a cell phone to, text people and keep in touch with them. This is his method of communicating with his classmates, with friends that go to different schools. This is kind of like what AOL Instant Messenger was to us when we were like in college age. I'm a little bit older than you, so that was probably gone by the time you got to college.
No, we called it AIM by the time.
You called it AIM?
That
Okay.
We were using it.
Yeah, fancy.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a fear of missing out involved with this. This is sort of a big cultural sensation. A lot of people getting involved.
That's the one thing that I come back to, is that by me not participating in this, I push myself one step closer to too old of a person, too much of a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Relevance is important to me.
Okay.
Relevance in music and understanding music and being open to appreciating new cultural phenomenons and new creative endeavors, right?
Yeah.
So like in my life, music is probably the primary media that I consume. Video, like TV and movies, weren't really big for me as a kid necessarily, but have become much more so now that you can stream everything and you don't have to watch ads and stuff like that. The difficulty for me is it's not so much participating in Fortnite that is something I don't want to miss out, and I don't want to not understand it. I feel like I understand it. It's just I don't play video games.
Yeah.
So it's a bigger thing than just liking Fortnite. I mean,
Sure.
I have no ill will towards Fortnite, but you guys dropped me in a chat thread, told me to download Fortnite,
Yeah.
and I have yet to play with you guys, and that was what, like 9 months to a year ago that you started doing that?
Yeah, it was 11 months ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of just not in my makeup
Sure.
to stay with playing video games for long, because I don't really get obsessed with them. And here's another thing. It's really weird to me chatting and like treating that as a social like connection platform.
Yeah.
I bet if I got into it, I'd appreciate it more, but it's jumping on that horse that is kind of the difficult thing for me, because I'd almost rather just chat and text.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because that would be the thing that I would enjoy most. I imagine the experience would be like going to a sporting event or something like that with friends, and you're doing something together. You're having that shared experience, but really the best part about it is you're together and the conversations that you have.
Definitely. It's very tribal, right? The whole joy of sports is the community-based reactions to it, right? You cheer together when you win.
Mm-hmm.
You complain together when you lose. You really have no connection to the players on the field.
Yeah.
It's very tribal, right?
Yeah.
It goes back to that. And in the same way, it's like, oh, I'm really good at here's another thing is kids growing up now don't see being really good at a video game any different than being really good at sports. So looking at someone like LeBron James in basketball and Ninja, who's one of the most famous Fortnite players, they see them in the same light.
Is he a real ninja?
He's not a real ninja.
No.
No.
Whenever they say ninja, I think that he's probably Japanese.
No, he's not. He's from Michigan. He's from Detroit.
He's from Detroit?
He's from Detroit. He was born in Detroit and then I think moved somewhere else a couple of years later. But
in South Detroit?
No, there's no such thing.
Oh. That's Windsor.
That's Windsor, man. Get real.
Yeah.
But we live in an age where esports is a viable thing.
So you call playing Fortnite an esport?
I think the competitive
gaming
tournaments
they're
they
called
have,
esports. So it's not just playing digital approximations of actual sporting events.
No.
Esports is the industry or the profession, really.
Yes.
It's the profession of playing video games competitively against other people.
Yeah, and it can be as non-athletic as Magic the Gathering or, card-based games.
But that's not a sport either. It's a game.
It's not, but they're calling it esport. I don't know.
Would you
I don't
call
know
Magic?
why.
Would you call Magic like a Magic tournament?
No.
Like a card sport event?
No, I wouldn't.
But yet, if it's a video game, then it's sports. Like I'm cool calling it like legit. Like I'm cool with saying that it's a legit thing and it deserves to exist. But to call it sports is almost appropriation to me.
I think that there's probably a strong reason for that. I think that as people are trying to drive traffic and get eyeballs to watch these things, they are calling that. And I think to help legitimize it in a way, they've gone to esports. And I think the Madden community, the John Madden football games, were kind of the first big mainstream aspect of this. So in that case, it is truly an e-sport,
I
right?
get calling Madden an e-sporting tournament.
Yeah. But as these other games are kind of like, hey, we have tournaments and competitions too. Things, I think it's Call of Duty, where you're a soldier and you're running around in a very similar fashion to Fortnite and shooting other people. They have tournaments for that too. So there's like an athletic, if you want to really stretch the imagination, an athletic component to that, war being good at running and shooting and tactics and stuff. And then
sports are based upon war. It's just like folding in and out of itself, right?
Sure.
I mean, football is supposed to be like infantry's marching down the field.
What about croquet?
More like cavalry, right? Or I'm thinking about polo. Polo is was a war like practice sport.
Right.
So I mean, things get born out of other things. Shoot, I like hip hop, and it's the most like remixed culture there is for music. I mean, everything. It's not me like saying anything's like so sacred that it can't take from it. I think that things should be reinvented. I don't think any idea is original. Yeah. Everything's born out of something. It's just like distinguishing that as an e-sport. It's a little stretch for me, but I get calling it like a competition or a game or a tournament even. Like a gaming tournament, but just calling it a sport,
I think that's the label used to help drive traffic and legitimize and get on ESPN in some cases, right?
Well, then it's a sport because it's a sporting network.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cornhole on ESPN. You can't tell me that's super athletic.
ESPN is such a purely sports-driven.
Yeah. They've got the spelling bee on ESPN.
It's all sports all the time. They don't have any other filler at all besides just putting football game on, and then there's a basketball game on right after that.
That's right.
No annoying talking heads.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this. You said you're not a video game guy.
No, I don't hate them.
Right.
I just don't play them.
But why did you buy an Xbox then?
My wife was pregnant for the second time, and not that it matters, I guess. But I think it was Julie said with the first pregnancy we bought Netflix.
Wow,
and
you're very successful then.
With the first pregnancy, we watched Netflix, and she said she conquered Netflix.
Yeah.
And now she wanted to become, what was the game that she wanted to play? It might have even been Fortnite. But like she wanted to just conquer all the games.
Something to invest your time and energy into to take your mind off of the pregnancy and make the time go faster. Is that kind of like the spirit of that? Okay.
And now our second is 8 months old.
Yep. And
I put the Roku back in about 3 months ago, and the Xbox hasn't been on in 3 months.
Yeah. Honestly, so I bought an Xbox around the same time because I thought all of us were going to be playing Xbox together and stuff. I don't play it very much. In fact, I feel stupid for paying for Xbox Live, which is only like $5 a month, but there are several months where I haven't even gotten on to Xbox Live. My son plays Fortnite on our PS4. That's what he and all of his friends are on. So that's the account that we've invested the money into. So if I'm going to play it, I play it on the PS4 to help aid him in getting more challenges checked off, which in return gets you more loot, gets you more skins, which gets you more customization, all the stuff that he's really interested in to get the biggest bang for your buck. I'm not going to go play on the Xbox where none of that matters, you know. I will say that the time that a bunch of our colleagues did get on and play together, that was the first time I'd played Fortnite, and it was kind of before my son had any exposure to it. But 4 of us are on. We're running through the fields. We're and I don't know how to like shoot or do much at that point. So we found a little attic of a house and just kind of hid there while we hear footsteps, and like we were talking back and forth on the speakers, saying, "Oh my gosh, my heart is racing. I feel really scared right now because at any time someone's gonna like jump in and cap us."
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think so. It was like
See, that's the thing I hate the most. Like,
yeah,
I have so much social anxiety. Like, knowing that that's a real person, I'd much rather play against AI than play against another person I don't know.
yeah, okay,
It's so weird. I know it's no different. You don't hear the other teams, right?
no,
So it's not like they're like die or like laughing at you or anything.
no.
But just
can
knowing
taunt
that
you,
those are other people
Mm-hmm.
bothers me.
Why?
I can't call the Chinese food place on the phone to order food because of the social anxiety I have
Okay,
with that interaction.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What's your anxiety? Your anxiety is they're going to.
I want to play with you, but I can't really see you. I'm not the.
No, I mean the
not
Chinese.
the Chinese place. Ever since I can remember, I've had this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like talking on the phone. I think eye contact is important to me.
Yeah.
I think a warming up period and building relationship over time is something that's important to me in unstructured environments. Now, that being said, if I go into a room full of teachers and the role is predetermined, like it's really defined, that they are teachers seeking support and I am a person that can provide coaching support for them in that sense, like in a professional setting.
It's a structured set.
Yeah, like even backing up from there, like I know coming in the building that the kind of interactions I'm going to have with people, even in a situation where you come into, you get a new job or something like that, like I'm much more comfortable in that situation because it's like professional conversations and things like that.
Sure.
Just I can't even, it's almost tacit, the knowledge that I have about this. I do know that the Chinese places are especially stressful for me because I'm really fearful that I'm going to be misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
I have this fear always that my words are not going to meet what's in my mind. My mind never stops. I've come to realize that some of the headaches that I had, while associated with sinus issues, that if I practice mindfulness, I can actually calm myself down and not feel the headache anymore.
So they were stress induced.
Some of my headaches are from thinking too much.
Mm.
So like I
That sounds like a humble brag, by the way. I am so smart and I think so much it gives me headaches.
At no point did I say these thoughts were good, that they were life-changing. There's times where Julie will just be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I come to and I'm like in my kitchen staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, because you're so lost in thought that you don't know how you got there.
It's like, you know in those shows when time freezes?
Yeah.
And then the person with powers is able to like move all around and everything like that or whatever. I am not that person.
Yeah.
I'm the person that's frozen. And that's what it looks like. Like I'm just my mind is going, but my body is not.
Yeah.
So let me come back to this. Like I've had this since childhood. Ill-structured like I know no one's gonna hurt me. Like, What's a good 12-year-old name?
Grayson.
Grayson. Yeah. I know Grayson is not going to bug me whatsoever, and I can shut that game off whenever I want.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird that here's this person that's coming to shoot me with artificial guns for pretend or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like this invasive interaction that's supposed to be for fun. And it's like I become consumed. It's not like I think it's real, but like it is. It's just kind of strange that like I don't know you and you're coming to shoot me with guns.
Well, how is that? I mean, okay, swap guns for hockey sticks.
Sure.
You play pickup hockey. You will drop in and play with a bunch of people that you probably don't know, and you don't know the other people on the other team. You may get to know them a little bit, as you know, as the season goes on. But how is that? How are you able to handle that social aspect of, you know, the camaraderie of the teammates and then the aggression of the people against you? And, you know, hockey's not a spelling bee. Hockey's aggressive. It's checking people and hitting them against the boards. And that to me seems like it would make something like Fortnite small potatoes in comparison. You've been through that kind of a battle in hockey.
But it's well defined. It's not that I'm like, it's not the killing me with guns part. But it's not really the intent of the interaction.
Yeah.
I can't call it, but like hockey feels more structured to me. It also feels more familiar.
Sure.
I think your comparison is really good. I want to say that. It's really good. I think, especially if I go to drop in where I don't know the people, there is a little bit more social anxiety
Is there?
that I have than when I play in my league where I know not only my teammates, but I know the guys on the other team.
But are you able to get past that because once you're on the ice, you're comfortable, you know your roles, and you know that your skill level is enough for the other people to respect you? Or
that's another thing too. I'm fearful of sucking, and I know it's okay. Like that's part of it. Like I would probably not go play a pickup basketball game, but I would go play drop-in hockey.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm familiar enough with it. I've got enough experience, and I think I'm a person who's a little self-conscious in that sense and unwilling to jump into it. I think I might be more comfortable if I knew that I was not only playing with friends, but I was competing only against people I knew in real life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know that that's a thing that you can do in Fortnite.
Probably not. Probably not. But did you, so late high school, college age, was there any sort of video game that maybe all the guys in the dorm were playing or anything like that? For me, it was like GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was middle school for me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We did like GoldenEye, all the kids in the neighborhood, but it was like I was often not playing.
But
So
you were watching.
I was watching
for the social aspect
for
of
the social
of the whole
aspect
group
of
doing
being
it.
in the group with everyone.
Right.
Like maybe if I could can you be in Fortnite and not actually play and just chat with everyone? Because I might actually do that.
You know what you could do is you could be part of a squad and then just run along and heal people as they get knocked down or whatever. That'd be
Every time you say get knocked down, are you meaning getting killed or like literally pushed down?
Well, so
and why are you not saying help them get up again?
There, because I don't want to get sued by Chumbawamba. When you lose all of your health, if you're in a group, you end up crawling, meaning that you're knocked. It's just called being knocked. And then there's a short period where one of your teammates can revive you, and then you can keep going. But then, so losing all your health doesn't mean you're dead. Doesn't mean you're eliminated until either no one eliminates or no one revives you, or someone blasts you while you're crawling on the ground, and then you're dead. So that's the distinction. That's why I say when you're not. But you could, and really, you could just be an expert at running and hiding and then telling jokes.
You sound like Joey Tribbiani explaining the rules of Bamboozled.
Oh, that's a very deep cut on Friends trivia. Yeah. So Joey, from my recollection, got hired to host a video or a game show. And it was very like convoluted, like the rules.
The rules of Fortnite feel convoluted to me. I don't know if convoluted is. We need to do a check on what the definition of convoluted is. But like, there was so many rules. Like that was the writer's intent with the joke was like it's so complicated, right? And and then he's practicing for his audition. With Chandler and Ross. And then he goes to the audition and they had scaled it back and just made it a simple trivia show. And he was all upset and like classic Joey.
Classic Joey. Man, we're batting 1,000 for Friends references in these episodes, I think. It always goes back to Friends.
Well, Friends, How I Met Your Mother, Parks and Rec are kind of good canons of being able to compare TV shows to everyday life.
They covered a broad spectrum, and they were on for relatively
long periods of time. But coming back to it, it's just like, can you see where that would be something that would make me anxious? Like, I'm an anxious person already. I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I like passive things because it allows me to experience things without embarrassing myself. And it's not that I'm going to think people think I suck. It's like my expectations of myself. It's messed up. Yeah. I probably need to take a chill pill and like loosen up a little bit and be okay with just not doing well. And it's not like I would get in there and be like down on myself or it would make me feel bad or whatever. It's just like, why it's supposed to be fun. Why am I gonna do something that I know that I'm just gonna be like self-analyzing the entire time?
Well, I guess you would be self-analyzing whether it's Tetris or whether it's Fortnite or pick up basketball.
I hate Pac-Man. And Battletoads was like the worst for me.
Yeah.
Like
Battletoads was just unbeatable.
I think the point of games is to be successful with them and be appropriately challenged. My problem is that I suck at all of them because I don't have the experience playing them very much. And I don't really have a drive and a desire to conquer games.
You don't have a drive to get better.
No, I don't.
At things that are arbitrary.
Arbitrary to me. I want to be very clear that I'm not speaking on video games in general being something that is not worth anyone's time. I'm just saying it's something that's never appealed to me. Like in general, it's never been something I've gotten addicted to.
Really?
I'm addicted to reading stuff on my phone. I'm addicted to understanding what's going on in the world. I can get addicted to shows. A lot of the stuff I get addicted to is like this passive consumption of stuff. I did not get addicted to Words with Friends. I do not get addicted to Candy Crush. I will play the little games in Snapchat with my wife back and forth for about 3 hours and then get bored of it and never do it again.
Okay.
So it's kind of this weird thing, and it sounds lame. Like, I don't get addicted to like active like leisure things like that, except for I like hockey. Yeah. I do like going out and doing physical experiences. I like going to the show. Again, a passive thing. I like going out to dinner.
Okay.
I like going out to Horrocks and just being like, not necessarily. Horrocks is a big market grocery store place that also sells trees. It not necessarily to buy anything in particular, but to walk around. I like doing that at Meijer too. I like to just go to Meijer and walk around.
Do you consider yourself a competitive person?
I am competitive in very specific things. But in general, not really. Like oh, it sounds like horribly participation ribbony, but like I am all about the process. Even with hockey, like I don't care if I win or lose. Ultimately, I try my best to like be my best because it's personally satisfying to like challenge myself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I don't care if I win or lose. I appreciate the process, and I appreciate the competition more than I appreciate the outcome of it.
Yeah. It's interesting that because I think what drives an addiction to a Candy Crush or Fortnite or getting better at hockey is a competitive nature and not wanting to lose. It's a desire to win more often than not that drives someone to practice until they're so good that they're unbeatable. And if you don't have that for these different things, I mean, I think there are things that you are competitive about, selectively, but if you're not emotionally invested in something and you don't have a desire to beat other people at that, let's be frank. What makes someone want to keep playing Words with Friends is because they want to beat other people at these games. They want to be a higher level in Candy Crush. They want to beat you in Madden or Fortnite or whatever. That's the whole point for some people is the winning and the losing. So if you don't have that, and it's interesting that you say you don't want to start something that you might be bad at.
It's
which kind of conflicts with that, right? In a little way. You're saying you
it's you know, thinking about it, I'm glad I have you as a shrink, Brandon. I think you're right that at least in things that I think large segments of society find really engaging because of the nature of the competition that or just like the competitive drive that it kind of taps into doesn't really appeal to me necessarily. You are right as well to say I'm not devoid of like a competitive streak. I do get joy from accomplishing things. I do feel good about setting a goal and becoming better at things. But like I have a goal right now that I want to build a backyard hockey rink, skating rink.
Yeah.
Because my son's 3, we're gonna get him skates for his birthday here in a week, and I feel like that would be a more comfortable space than taking him to a public skating where there's a lot of people. He might not fall too far from the tree. He doesn't like to be around a ton of people. But this is just an exercise. I don't know exactly where I'm going, but it's like, again, it's tacit. Like I have drive and I have motivation, and I do have the ability to grab onto something new and try to accomplish it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's not in group settings. A lot of times those things, like when I'm with friends, I want it to be in a place where, in a setting that's just about the connections with friends and common experiences, not necessarily like working together to accomplish. I don't like escape rooms. I don't like going to ropes courses with groups. Laser tag is even a little bit like on the fringe of my comfort level, because like I just don't like that space. Like laser tag's a good comparison to Fortnite. For sure. I think I'm a little bit more okay with laser tag because it's like, again, it's like an in the flesh kind of thing, and like I see the kid that's shooting me. And not like, there's a kind of a creepiness too about like knowing that it's kids that you're interacting with, and it's through the internet, and it's like veiled behind like these different identities.
Sure.
And it's just like, there's a creepiness level to me that I don't appreciate.
Okay.
I went on a big bird walk there, but I think I made some decent points. I just can't remember all of them.
Sure. We'll review them afterwards as we're editing. But kind of a final thought here.
Because you feel like you're behind, and this is like 2 minutes left.
Well,
don't you?
This is, and this has nothing to do with.
And you're super competitive, and you want to get this win.
To me, the greater win is understanding how your mind works, and this, I think, speaks to that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you don't want to like anything that's popular. Do you think that's a fair assessment? If there's anything that a lot of people are really going crazy for, you're going to take a step back. Whereas you're more interested in niche, maybe more lesser known things. Would that be a fair perspective?
I'm not a jump on this because it's popular kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm not a I'm not a hater. So as long as you're not saying like I don't despise Fortnite.
Yeah.
It has a right to exist. And I'm glad that people enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what else is popular? Like I enjoy popular music, and like I like Cardi B, and I like Ariana Grande, and I also really appreciate Schoolboy Q, and I love Childish Gambino before he became anything that was popular, and I still like him even though he like I like things of substance, and I like what I like, and whether it's mainstream or not doesn't bother me. But I also like am not gonna run out and watch a show because everyone's all about it, right? If it fits in and it appeals to me from a content perspective, I'm gonna engage with it.
Yeah. That's really interesting to me because, I think you and I have discussed before your contentment with TV shows that are of what I would consider a low quality, a low bar humor, like Kevin Can Wait or what I forget which one.
Two Broke Girls is something I loved.
Yeah. So
and I would say that's popular. I mean, a CBS show that is always going to be considered mainstream, right?
Yeah.
You know what I like right now? The Neighborhood.
That's the Schmidt from New Girl? That's all I know about it.
Yeah, Schmidt from New Girl, and then the blonde girl from Two Broke Girls, and then Cedric the Entertainer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Might want to check.
Not Bernie Mac because he's dead.
He is dead.
But Cedric the Entertainer is alive, and he's in that show.
He is alive. Okay, so what's interesting to me about that is you have a self-confessed low bar for entertainment. Yet, you're not open, I don't feel like, to all things. And I'm trying to sort out in my head how one could be how you could be undiscriminatory about entertainment as a whole and yet have a wall up against certain things. Does that make sense? Like I'm trying to unpackage this.
Yeah. Breaking Bad I didn't watch until it finished.
Why is that? Because it was super popular and people were talking about it and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to jump on the train.
People were talking about it, but it didn't necessarily appeal to me. I wasn't. I watched Malcolm in the Middle a little bit and wasn't a huge fan. And then Cranston being in that, I was just kind of like, well, it's just going to be... For some reason, it just felt like Malcolm in the Middle to me.
Yeah.
Which it's not. It's anything... I mean, it has one commonality, and that's an actor.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I make quick decisions, and then I don't feel pressured to engage with things. I meet it with a case by case basis and decide what I like and what I don't like, and I I don't have a criteria like you have a little bit about like I don't have standards. But it doesn't mean that like I there's enough media out there where you can pick and choose. You have to pick and choose what you engage with.
Sure.
But I do think that I do have a steady record of just like I don't like playing thing. Like I don't like engaging. Like games are things you play in your spare time, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unless you have a problem. As an adult, like with kids, things are you have a limited amount of spare time, and I choose to veg, not to
or turn the brain off, as much as possible.
And that's what I choose to do. So it's I get where like I get your point about me not having a steadfast rule about things, and it seems like I'm a little bit. You're not calling me hypocritical, but it's like it's just odd. You can't pick up the pattern, and I think you're right.
I'm not trying to shame you at all. I'm just trying to dissect it in a way that helps me understand it, so I can use it against you to win these episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to choose Fortnite to talk about here because I felt like it's something that I don't know where you stand. I knew that you were kind of open to it because when we got our Xboxes 11 months ago, we had talked about this being a unifying thing that a handful of us around the office could do and, do something fun. You seemed open to it. At the same time, maybe not super into it, as we kind of talked about the times that we did play. So I wanted to explore this a little bit. I talked about the social aspect of it, and you kind of, gave your perspective on that, which I appreciate. I talked about the Hunger Game aspect of dropping down with nothing and then
that scares the crap out of me. That part is
which
scary.
To some is like a really, really cool concept to you.
That scares the crap out of me.
Kind of worst case scenario. Yep. Okay. So I want to ask you, Jeff, do you now like Fortnite?
No, I don't like Fortnite.
Okay.
I don't. I want to. I feel bad that like almost a year ago I like was a tease that I was gonna like actually
it was the
in
only reason I bought an Xbox. I already had a PS4. I didn't need an Xbox, but hey, all the guys have got an Xbox. I'm gonna buy an Xbox.
Wait, me playing Fortnite was the only reason, or like it was just
it was you and 3 other people who were saying, "Oh yeah, let's play on the Xbox."
So there's a couple others, right?
Oh sure, yeah, of course. So, no, it's fine. I have sometimes I just want to buy something big, and it
and
gives
you want to find the excuse to do it.
It gives a release of endorphins, and that satisfied that itch for the moment. So I don't feel bad. I actually enjoy hearing your because I think I have like a and you can tell by my questions, I have a preconceived notion of like, oh man, you're just being a hipster. You don't like to do anything that's popular. When really, you provided enough evidence to the contrary. So I'm cool with that. This is our first no. So that catapults you into a 4-2 lead. You've got double the amount of points that I do, which is fine. I'm not in it for the win. I'm in it for the process here. The process and the enjoyment of it.
That's perfect.